What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some crazy battles in the Open Great League submitted to the channel by a previous Battle of Spice winner, Emerald Nightmare, who's running a triple dinosaur theme team with Meganium, Shadow Aerodactyl, and of course Tyrantrum. Now I'm sure there's already one person in the comments saying, actually pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs, and yes, you would be correct, but for the sake of the theme, who cares? Anyways, with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What is your favourite Pokemon that resembles some sort of prehistoric creature? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we see Meganium into Medicham. So this is a fairly neutral matchup. I would say Medicham probably just slightly edges it just because it does have that super effective Ice Punch, although Frenzy Plant also going to do huge damage in this matchup. We're going to build two nearly the back-to-back Frenzy Plants. Meganium should be winning CMP up against the Medicham, and we throw straight away, winning the CMP tie. We can take this in the Zero Shield scenario. The opponent uses their shield, and at this point, I think we will just let Meganium go down. Yeah, exactly that. Ice Punch will be taking us out, but we put them into perfect farm down range for the Shadow Aerodactyl. Now the opponent comes in with a Carbink. They're hitting for huge damage, but we're hitting for double super effective damage with the Steel Wings, and the opponent no-shields the Earth Power, which is absolutely vital because we've got Tyrantrum in the bag, a Pokemon that really doesn't want to see Carbink. We're going to use our first shield, shielding up the rock side, and the opponent comes in with a Venusaur. Now, we are not going to throw straight away, and as a result, the opponent throws on alignment, giving us a full Dragon Tail in for free, and you're going to see that is absolutely vital for us. As we go for a crunch, we get the defense drop, and we make it to a second crunch on the CMP tie, and crunch will be enough damage to take out the Venusaur, and now we can just Dragon Tail, farm down the Carbink, and take them out with a Tyrantrum. That has probably never happened in the Go Battle League before, probably won't ever happen again, and it was incredibly satisfying to see. But into the next game, we see Buzzwole in the lead, gonna say swap into Aerodactyl, and if the opponent throws straight away, this is just gonna be a resisted Body Slam that still does a ton of damage. Can we make it to the back-to-back rock sides? I don't know if we're quite there yet. We're throwing the first rock side coming through, does big damage, and we get off the second rock side, which is absolutely huge. This will either grab a shield advantage or take out the Nicky Tongue, and we do get that shield advantage. We can now come in with the Meganium. Meganium is a pretty bulky Pokemon, so we might just let this move go through. Body Slam, not going to do too much damage. We might commit to the full Vine Whip farm down at this point. Are we going to shield here? No, we're still happy to let the next move go through, get the full farm down, and even though Frenzy Plant is resisted, it's still going to do quite a lot of damage, so we will fire it off straight away. Frenzy Plant goes unshielded. We can go for a second Frenzy Plant. This might even grab a shield up against the Buzzwole, and no, the opponent lets it go through. We can snipe with the Tyrantrum, and they've got a Jellicent in the back, and down a shield. This is going to be a very good matchup for the Tyrantrum and a bad matchup for the Jellicent. We land the crunch, and at this moment in time, the opponent is just going to concede the match there, and we're able to take that game. But into the next battle, we see a Whiscash in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into Bastiodon. Not ideal for us, just because obviously we have two Pokemon in the back that aren't going to do particularly well. But we go for the Earthquake, grabbing a shield from the opponent. And now we can shield up against the Bastiodon as they go for a Flamethrower. We will be able to quite easily outpace them to the next Earthquake, and at this point, we've probably put them into range where this will KO. So Earthquake grabs the final shield from the opponent. We are getting fairly low, and now we swap into our Tyrantrum, looking to catch a resisted Flamethrower. Double resisted actually, but we're not able to do so. The opponent holds onto the energy, and also we could be running Earthquake, but unfortunately we are not. We go for Crunch. Crunch is not going to do an awful lot of damage up against the Bastiodon, and they didn't have any shields remaining either, so they couldn't shield it even if they wanted to, so probably not the best play there. The opponent's now going to come in with Clodsire. We are now switch locked, so not ideal. Once again, going to go for the Earthquake, and we can eventually try and swap out, and we do perfectly make the catch this time around, and we have ended up catching a Sludge Bomb, which is resisted damage. Unless the opponent is going to be running the Stone Edge, we should be able to resist this as well, but Earthquake actually takes us out there. I think I would have considered trying to use a shield anyways, because now unfortunately it's going to be very difficult. Now we do have the tools to actually beat this team here, but does an Earthquake KO the opponent from this range? They're going to come in with the Whiscash. I don't think they made a catch there, so we go for the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant, oh, they did make the catch. Oh, and the Bastiodon lives with like 2 HP, makes it to a Flamethrower, taking out the Meganium, and unfortunately we do lose that game, but really well played by the opponent. And into the next game we see another Bastiodon in the lead, so some more dinosaur on dinosaur action. You love to see it. Typically not a fan of Bastiodon, but when it's up against a triple dinosaur theme team, then it is kind of acceptable. as we're going to use a shield here once again. Earthquake is going to hit for double super effective damage. This is definitely our best matchup. The opponent's going to swap into Medicham here. We're just going to fire off the Frenzy Plant straight away, and then we might go for another Frenzy Plant just before they calm us down, but no, the opponent goes for a Power Up Punch, I believe, which we do barely live. We can go for the Frenzy Plant, unfortunately not quite at the back-to-back yet. But we've got the shield, and now we're swapping into the Aerodactyl. Unfortunately, these counters are doing huge damage to the Aerodactyl. They're going to full send a Psychic there, a bit unnecessary because Aerodactyl is incredibly classy, but we've got an Earth Power loaded. Are they going to come back in with the Bastion? Yes, they are. We're going to fire it off straight away. And Earth Power actually still doesn't take out the Bastion. That thing is ridiculous. I don't think they've got a charge move loaded though, so we're going to come in with the Meganium. Actually, they do have a charge move loaded, so they fire it off straight away. Good play there, coming in with the Meganium, tanking the charge move. And now we can come in with the Tyrantrum. We will barely outpace this Victory Bell to a Crunch before they get the farm down, and Crunch takes out the Victory Bell. We get the Dragon Tail farm down up against the Bastiodon, and we're able to take that game. So into the next game, another Dinosaur on Dinosaur action battle here, and some more dinosaurs. It looks like the opponent is also running a Dinosaur theme team. We're going to go straight for the Earth Power, and Earth Power does one-shot the Bastiodon this time around. That's absolutely huge because Meganium gets completely walled by Tropius. It does double resist or triple resist everything we can possibly throw, but now we can come in with the Tyrantrum. Unfortunately, I don't think this is a great matchup for us, but we should be able to get them fairly low. We go for Crunch, we get the defense debuff, which is really nice, and they do only have resisted Razor Leafs to throw with their fast moves, so they are quite slow to get to the Aerial Aces. They do fire off the Aerial Ace, but luckily for us, they have Azumarill in the back. This is a very positive matchup for us. We're going to go straight for the Frenzy Plant, grabbing the shield from the opponent, and with the Vine Whip damage, we should be able to put them into range where a second Frenzy Plant will basically KO, maybe put them into farm down range here, but we're going to go for that Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant coming through. Frenzy Plant is going to do big damage, takes out the Azu, and even though it is double resisted, Frenzy Plant should be enough damage to take out the Tropius, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we see Toxapex in the lead, so not ideal for us, but we do have two better answers. We're going to Sage Swap into our Tyrantrum, and the opponent responds with Ace Wireless. We're just going to go straight for the Crunch. It is resisted damage, but it doesn't matter. It grabs a shield. Unfortunately, no debuff there, and they are able to very easily Dragon Breath farm us down, but we put them into range where we can probably come in with the Meganium and go for a full Vine Whip farm down. We're going to no-shield the Dark Pulse there. Quite a smart play by the opponent, as they will now... Oh, actually, I thought they would make it to a Body Slam, but either they didn't make it or they just chose not to throw. But either way, we're now going to go for a Frenzy Plant into the Umbreon coming in. And they are just going to soak up this damage. Probably going to no-shield again here as we go for a second Frenzy Plant. That does quite a lot of damage. We're going to try and force the opponent to throw. We're going to bank a Frenzy Plant before swapping out, which is a really nice play. Now, unfortunately, they are resisting the Steel Wing damage, but we are also resisting the Poison Jab. So, bit of a tricky matchup for us here. We're going to full send the Earth Power. Earth Power will hit for super effective damage, and it goes unshielded by the opponent. We now have to shield the Brine here, as that would take us out. We can now get the Steel Wing farm down, and can we make it to the Rock Slide in time? Yes, we are able to do so. Rock Slide will be coming through, and that will grab the final shield, and now we can just come in with the Meganium. We should be easily winning CMP up against the Umbreon, so we just let it go down there. And no, unfortunately we don't get off the charge move. What the heck is that? The opponent goes for a foul play, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But Meganium certainly does win CMP up against a Umbreon, so don't really know why that happened there, but it's go battle lag, whatever. Into the next game, we're going to see a Chestnut in the lead. Bit of a tricky matchup here for us, as we can only hit for resisted damage, although the opponent does have to fire off superpowers to do any meaningful damage against us. So we're going to let the first move go through as they go for the Frenzy Plant. We're going to swap into Aerodactyl, and unfortunately they are double resisting these Steel Wings here, but Earth Power is going to do huge damage to the Lantern. The opponent does know that they can just farm us down though, so not ideal for us. They also don't leave much farm either, so that's probably perfect for the Lantern. We're actually not going to mess around, going to fire off the charge move straight away, taking out the Lantern. Going to go for another Frenzy Plant here, unfortunately losing CMP. We're going to let it go through, and it is just a Frenzy Plant from the opponent once again as they go for the bait, and that will allow us to get off our own Frenzy Plant, swap into the Tyrantrum, and the opponent has a Clodsire in the back. So are we going to go straight Meteor Beam here? Yes, we are. This is obviously going to do huge damage if they let it go through. Actually, that didn't do that much damage. It is resisted. What am I talking about? But what it does do is it boosts our attacks, and now we should be able to fully Dragon Tail farm them down here. So the opponent goes for a Stone Edge there, baiting, but we get the Dragon Tail farm down. Can we farm down the Chestnut? No, we're not able to do so. They are already at a Frenzy Plant once again. Can we get the farm down? It's a simultaneous KO, and unfortunately we do tie that game. But into the next game, Skeledirge in the lead, not ideal for us, so we're going to say swap into the Aerodactyl. The opponent is staying in here, recognizing that we were running Steel Wing, but then they swap into Aerodactyl, which is quite a, sorry, not Aerodactyl, Altaria, which is quite a strange swap there, as we can go for the full Steel Wing farm down, and they come in with a Whiscash. Now we can fire off an Earth Power. Earth Power does pretty big damage there. They will be able to Mudshot farm us down, but now we can come in with the Meganium, completely wall the Whiscash here, as they are probably not running Blizzard. They go for a Mud Bomb, doesn't do much damage there. We can get the full farm down. They do make it to a second charge move, but it doesn't really matter, and now we can just go for the Frenzy Plants up against the Skeledirge, basically just force them to throw their energy here, otherwise they will have to double shield in this matchup. And at this point, we're looking pretty good. Disarming Voice will be taking us out. We can come in with the Tyrantrum. We are double resisting these Incinerates. Obviously going to have to shield up these Disarming Voices, but we should be able to very easily Dragon Tail farm them down, shielding up the final charge move from the Skeledirge. And now one more Dragon Tail takes out the Skeledirge, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Meganium into Medicham. So once again, probably just going to play out the zero shield scenario here up against this Medicham. And if the opponent uses their shield, then that's absolutely fine. If they don't, that's also fine because we win switch advantage. But here, we're going to go for a Frenzy Plant. And Frenzy Plant is going to go no shielded by the opponent. We're going to go for the second Frenzy Plant, throwing straight away. And once again, we win the CMP tie. So do they want to shield here? The answer is yes, they do. But that's fine. We're going to let Meganium go down. Probably going to come in with the Aerodactyl as well. But no, the opponent actually undercharges that, so we swap into our Aerodactyl. Do they know about the Earth Power? Can we land it once again? And the answer is yes, we can. We take out the Bastiodon once again, and the opponent has a Licky Tongue in the back. And we also make it to the rock side in time. Aerodactyl coming in clutch in this game. That does huge damage to the Licky Tongue, and we put them into range where we can just Dragon Tail farm them down. They have to go for Power Whip, otherwise a Body Slam is going to be resisted damage, but they do bait. They grab a shield there. We might let the next one go through. No, actually there's no point because Medicham is not making it to another charge move. We can Dragon Tail farm down the Medicham, and we will be able to Dragon Tail farm down the Licky Tongue when it does come back in. It looks like the opponent has just rage quit. Fully close the app there as they just lost to a Tyrantrum, and we're able to take that game. But into the next battle, another Medicham in the lead. So we might end up seeing a similar team comp here, and if we do, we've got to be a bit wary of that Bastiodon, just because obviously last time they did no shield the Earth Power, but if they shield that up, I think we are pretty much screwed. So let's see what we do here. Once again, playing to the CMP tie, which we do win, and Frenzy Plant is going to be grabbing the shield from the opponent. So once again, I'm going to let the move go through here. We take the shield advantage, we come in with the Aerodactyl. This time we don't swap out there, so the opponent is not going to swap to respond to our Aerodactyl, and they come in with a Lantern. So we're going to fire off the Earth Power here before swapping into our Tyrantrum, and Earth Power once again goes no shielded. Opponents are just not respecting the damage here. We're now going to go for a Crunch, throwing on the CMP tie it looks like, and Crunch is going to grab the shield from the opponent. It doesn't get the debuff, and no, that was not a CMP tie, just good timing apparently. We're going to shield up the dig. We should be able to very easily make it to another Crunch before they get to back-to-back charge moves, so the opponent just concedes the match there. And into the final battle, we see a Sableye in the lead. So once again, probably just going to play out the zero shield scenario here. We're going to go for a Frenzy Plant before the opponent throws their charge move. Frenzy Plant does grab the shield from the opponent. Now they have built up to a return. Are they going to full send it here? No, they go for the foul play. This time, they will actually win CMP up against the Meganium. So this time we are going to shield up the foul play, go for a Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant grabs a shield from the opponent, so now we swap into our Tyrantrum instead of the Aerodactyl. And I think we should be able to shield and then fully Dragon Tail farm them down. So the opponent's going to swap into the Lantern, but we will make it to a Meteor Beam, and this is going to do absolutely huge damage to the Lantern. They have to go for Surf here as Thunderbolt is persisted. We should still live this though. We should be able to Dragon Tail, farm them all the way down, and let's see, do they come back in with the Sableye? No, they come in with a Clodsire, and we make it to a Crunch in time, which is huge. We are boosted. Crunch is going to do still not that much damage to the Clodsire. It is very bulky, and that's a non-stab Crunch, by the way. But we come in with the Aerodactyl. We swap. We try to catch the move here. Unfortunately, not able to do so, but let's see. The opponent is going to go for a Sludge Bomb, and that pretty much guarantees that they're not running Stone Edge here, because Earthquake is definitely the preferred... Wow, I am so good at talking right now. This is the final battle. We've nearly made it to the end of the video. Come on, pull yourself together. We go for the Rock Slide, taking out the Sableye, and we make it to another Rock Slide up against the Clodsire, and Rock Slide will be enough damage to take out the Clodsire, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.